Hi everybody, Kim Wilson here, and we're doing our September card class a little bit late, but better late than never. So I'm going to start out with a diamond easel fun fold. So I had a really fun time playing with this design, and there's all sorts of variations on it, so I'll show you a couple of different ways to put this together. So I do have kits still available, by the way. Anyways, let's get started. I've got my kit ready here for this card fold, and this won't fit in a standard sized medium envelope, so I just had these, I'm not sure where I got these larger envelopes on hand, so you might have to find a little bit larger envelope to put these in, like an old greeting card or something like that. Find an envelope or make one. Anyhow, the card base is 5 by 10, scored at 2.5 and 5. So I'm going to go ahead and start folding the score lines here so you can see this. So you basically have a 5 by 5 card, but then you've got the extra flap here where you're going to form the easel. And then we're going to trim this off to make it into the diamond easel. So, and then add the little extra piece that we need. So I've already made a tick mark on the top here, and I'm taking my trimmer, and it's 2.5 inches, and which is halfway, and then the fold also happens to be at 2.5 inches. So that makes it real convenient. So you can just zip off that corner there, and then the same exact thing on the other corner. So if you have the kit, yours is already cut off, but I thought I'd show you how to do that if you want to make more cards. Now my card here, I cut off both the top and the bottom corners. So if you want to do that with yours, that's easy enough to do. You can just draw a little faint pencil line there, or a tick mark again at 2.5 at each section, and repeat the cutting. I think for mine today I'm going to leave those corners on and see what it looks like, just for a variation here. And I have a different color here too, so it'll be it'll turn out a little bit different than my sample here, which gives you some ideas of how easy it is to vary this. Okay, now comes the hard part, trying to figure out how to put this piece on to form the diamond. So, oh, there we go. Okay, so this piece here, which has your little half of a diamond here, is where we're going to put the adhesive. So we're going to add that. Add some liquid glue there, or your tape runner, or tear and tape, and then that top of that square is just going to go there. And then you can, I like doing the liquid glue because you've got a little wiggle room, so you can just kind of push that around so you have it exactly in the right position. So there's two pieces to put together that card base. So we've got our longer piece, and then we've got that square, which was 3.5 square. So that makes the card base. So you can see already that it's nicely going to sit like an easel, but it still will fold flat to for mailing. All right, so let us start working on the stamping next. Now in your kits, I put a rectangle that you can stamp and put there, but it's not really necessary because you have a white space there. You can just stamp it. So I'm going to make mine a Christmas card. So we'll just put a Merry Christmas there. Nice and crooked, because I always stamp crooked. But why don't we just add some little leaves on the side there. So if you didn't like it crooked like that, you could stamp it on your extra piece and then just glue it right there in that spot. So that's the nice thing. There's always a way to cover up any mistakes. So stamping is already done on this project. Not a lot of stamping to do because I did most of the work for you, all these die cut pieces here. So we've got this square, diamond, square, same thing, that we're going to put right on top of there. And then we've got another rectangle piece, which will go right under there. I think mine's a little too short. Oh well. And then we've got another square here, which I'm going to cut in half. So let's grab that trimmer back in here and cut that in half. And now we got a couple of triangles to play with. So time to start gluing everything together. And I have the instructions already posted in the group, so you can see them there. Let's see, we'll get that piece on there. And might as well just continue with my wreath because I'm going to put all these wreath pieces on. So we'll put the bottom one, and this actually cuts out one of the stamped wreaths. It's this one right here from the Cottage Wreaths bundle, but I'm just using it as a background just to add a little extra layering. Now, if you have the kit, I didn't pop out all these little pieces here, which I probably should have done ahead of time because it takes a little bit of time. So if you have take your pick tool or the brush tip, you can just easily poke all those bits out. Oh, this one doesn't even have that piece out because I actually cut the little circle right from the center, so I was really saving on my glimmer paper because of course it's precious and you want to use every last little bit. Well, I'm not going to bother poking out all of those here, but we'll start building our wreath here. So we'll add a little glue, and you can see that bottom layer just kind of peeks out a little bit. And then our sparkly white. And some of them will be red because this particular paper comes in a package of both red and white. So you get both colors in the package. And usually what I do is grab a block or an ink pad and kind of push down on it a little bit just to let things have a little time to stick together. All right, so your rectangle piece you can put right there, or you could put it on the inside and use the back to write your greetings. So however you want to do that, there's no right or wrong way to put all the pieces together. Now I have the two triangles here on my sample. You can see I put them up here, but I'm going to do it a little differently for this one. So since I didn't cut off my bottom triangles, I'm going to see what it looks like to put my little triangles at the bottom instead, just to be different. Okay, so then when it closes, it looks like that. So that's kind of cool. I guess I should put that rectangle there. It's not quite wide enough. Hopefully all the kits are okay. I think I just got one that was cut a little too short. All right. So the next thing to do for your easel card is it always needs to have a catch, some sort of thing where the easel will catch against so that it stays open. And what I did for this one is I just took that circle that I cut at the same time I did the wreath. I cut the stitch circle from the Stylish Shapes bundle. I'll grab a dimension, stamp on a dimensional. It is really important to put in a dimensional on, then it gives you a little height to catch that tip. Now I usually do it a little less than, a little lower than half. So it's about like that. So that looks good. And then I gave you a couple little leaf sections here. So we will just put a couple leaves there just to decorate that little circle. And again, the leaves I cut out at the exact same time I did that middle layer of the wreath. You get 4 of the dies, so you can cut out a bunch of those little leaves at the same time with your little scraps that you have. So there's that. Oh, I forgot the wreath here, or the ribbon. So we gotta put that ribbon on because that really adds a lot. And I die cut that with the red glimmer paper. Okay, there we go. The only thing I didn't do was add some gems there. Now, if you're going to be mailing this card, you might not want to add any more dimension to it. But on my sample, I used the iridescent pearls, and they look so pretty there. Everybody with the kit is going to get a whole strip of the classic matte dots that we're using on a different card. So you might want to even use a couple of the dots here and there to decorate that fun fold. So there we go. So the cutting part is the hardest, but once you get that, it's so easy to put together. So there's our fun fold and both versions of it. And here's another version as well that I did earlier where I covered all the surfaces. So you'd have to put your greeting on the back of the card, but I thought it'd be fun to see what it looked like with all the different surfaces colored, covered up with that pretty Gingham Cottage Designer Series paper. And this one I used a stamped bow for my little catch there for the easel. So, and that's what it looks like all closed up. All right, so we got the first one finished, and I'm going to set these aside, and I'll be back in a minute with the next card.